That was a 3-2. That was a 3-2. That was a 3, 2. Hello everybody and welcome to live coverage of your round 6 of the 2014 GT Giants Championship here from Silverstone. What a grid of cars we've got today. We've got the BMW out in front. It's SPM Shadow Bounty that's on pole. The Corvette of Baxter Gabert just behind. Very close results indeed. B13 in third. Mepte fourth, also both electing the BMWs. 2 Ford GTs, these are all GT2 class cars in terms of stuntman Mike and Graufindu. Then alongside Flaren and PA on row 4 with the grid. But talking of row 4, we've got 5 red lights now. We're away for 26 laps. And the Silverstone circuit, the BMW, good start there by B13. Watch out there as he tries to get to the inside. Watch the Corvette try and defend on the run out of the first corner. It's so difficult to do. He's already lost ground there and in fact lost position. And that's brilliant to sting him as he goes back up the inside of the complex for the first time today. A couple of cars going wide. And we've got I think that's Tomcat 458 has spun off. Luke Sky 80. BMW gone wide. We just spoke about the black spoilered BMW, not one of the blue ones. So slightly easy to tell apart from the rest of the field. BMW, that was Flaren as they go down the cheeky little straight for the first time today. Not the main back straight, the hanger straight. They went down the Wellington straight, just gone. And now it's still Shadow Bounty that leads. B13 second, Baxter in third. Fourth place, Graufindu. Mepte still P5, but watch the Ford GT now though. Down the old pit straight he comes in towards what was the old first corner. Let's see if he can maybe make a go of this or no. Not quite, a bit too far away. They've got to play this very conservatively. 26 laps of racing, of course. Last thing what to be doing is throwing anything away. But now through Maggots, Beckett's, and in towards Chapel, the top 5 line astern. Mepte clinging on for dear life now as they make their way down the hanger straight coming out of Chapel Curve. Watch out for the Ford GT in the background. The battle towards the end of the field there of the Flow and 9 Raceway set to ignite a little as the race goes on, that's for sure. Now Shadow makes his way into towards Stoke corner for the first time, still leading from the pole position he received earlier. Baxter Gabert's dropped back a position. Can he get towards the inside of the very difficult corner as they make their way now through Club and onto the main pit straight. Watch out there, Baxter Gaber with a very dodgy exit. Graufindu may punish him. His Corvette versus Ford GT. Wow, he fought at Dave, but that was very, very close indeed. And away, talking of danger, is that 4GT just behind. That Stuntman Mike got very up close and personal to the inside, and that was almost costly as well. Going to try and sweep it now around the outside of the loop. Now and start diving into the slipstream. Able to but let's see as we come towards the end of lap number 2. Big swerve with a 4GT and sneaking out of it again. Nonetheless, quite a scary moment for the second and only other 4GT in the field today, other than Stuntman Mike. Now just behind, you've got the Flow, Simraceway, Mr. PA in a Corvette, down in 11th place at the moment. Look for him to make some progress as race ensues. Still only early days just yet, as we say on lap number 2. Very, very difficult part of the circuit. Watch out for the Corvette. It's always a tricky section to go through, one of the best complexes in motorsport. And down the hanger straight, the man in P11 now looks to try and take the position. To the outside he goes. May be able to sweep it right the way around. On the outside, the BMW tries to counter-attack. To no avail, and the Corvette sinks right back behind the BMW again. I'm trying to sort these out as we speak. But don't forget, this is a day to night, then back to day transition, so the sky will gradually get darker. Now BMW with the Flow up to the inside of PA. Sweep right back round, but no chance to do that. The Corvette needs to get and stretch those big legs as they make their way down the Wellington straight, and he tries to clinch to the inside. The BMW offline slightly, and that could have been quite enough to see the BMW done very, very well there to maintain its ground and not lose out. It did lose a position to PA though, and oh, there's contact, and spearing off goes the Flow, right into the gravel, and a big, big problem there. But don't forget, a 26 lap race is still a lot to gain. Now the two BMWs followed by second way at the moment. The entire top 3 separated by just about 3 seconds, so not a lot separating this top 4 at all. So they're going to make their way out to the final corner again to start lap number 4 is Shadow Bounty with B13 still firmly in second with and then Map Day, Grafindel, Stuntman Michael almost trying to get to the inside, and the two 4GTs now attacking the BMW. They don't want it to be a sandwich, they want that 4GT dominance, and they almost had it there for a moment, but a big moment for the GT, and Stuntman Mike just lost the back end I think, and since then it's going to be a bit tricky, but hopefully he gets that all sorted. So down Wellington straight again come the majority of the field. The front 3 however pulling forward. Watch from Mep Day trying to hold off Grafindel in the GT. And inside goes Grafindel again, and he's able to make it stick. A view on the outside for the next corner though, don't forget, and the BMW not able to continue that nice run down the back straight onto the national paddock straight now, and he's on the outside line in towards the old first corner. the one so infamously known here, down the Silverstone circuit, known of course as Copse Corner. Ralph Bindle harnessed the horsepower inside that full GT. I think he got a wheel on the grass there, and that may have compromised his run coming out of the corner. And now look at this, stuntman Mike still attacking Flaren. The other 4GT, can he move to the inside? Not enough momentum through there. I think what you've got to feel like, these 4GTs, they are the lowest to the ground of all the cars. The downforce is extremely good. Are simply sensational. You've got to bear that in mind. This is where these 4GTs will shine. Yes, the BMW straight line speed, but the 4GT's acceleration and drafting ability is second to none. And you're seeing this as the two Fords set to devour the BMWs like sharks at the moment. Mike to the inside of the apex, and he's made that like snatching candy from a baby. And now a rundown of the order then as we come towards the end of the first lap. We're hoping all the mic problems are sorted now, so I just took a short pause to make sure that no levels were fading or anything like that. But it has already been a very entertaining race so far. It's only the opening stint. Keep watching that sky as well and see if anything does change up above, because things are going to start to get a little bit darker out here at Silverstone as we go through the day to night transition. But still, look at the lead that SPM Shadow Bounty has. Now, if anyone has been familiar with these Sunday races we've seen in the World Touring Car Championships, then you'll be very much aware of the presence that SPM has established over the past few weeks. They've developed into some incredible races, that's for sure. 2, 3, 4 top teams at the moment have really started to emerge, but the drivers who we've seen in SPM have been nothing short of extraordinary. Let's just hope that that continues today. They're leading this race as well, don't forget. So who knows, this could develop into another victory in the GT Giants Championship. Very well named. 6 seconds still separate the top three, with Baxter but only 2 seconds away from the man in third. And now you can see the sunset, and it's already starting to be a beautiful show here at Silverstone. A run through of your order then. It's Shadow Bounty that leads from B13, Baxter Gaber, Mepday, Grafindel, Flaren, Mr. P8, Stuntman Mike, Luke Sky, My Raceway, Lazarus, Tomcat, Kobayashi, and The Flow. Round out your 14 car field for this race at the 6th lap stage. About to come towards the end of lap number 6. Shadow Bounty making his way onto the hangar straight for the 6th time today. We'll give you an update on his lap time as he surpasses the start-finish line also. Keep an eye on that Corvette in third though. Baxter Gaber's been very handily placed this race. He did start second of course, but a poor launch off the line going into the first corner meant B13 got that BMW power down and stuck the move down into the inside of turn 1. Mepday, Grafindel, Flaren, P8, Stuntman all still relatively close together. The gap between Flaren in 6th place and Stuntman Mike in 8th is only 1.5 seconds last time I checked, so intriguing to see how that Corvette does. The only other Corvette in the field, 2 Ford GTs, 2 Corvettes, the rest BMWs. Now the sun looks absolutely gorgeous as it fades behind the clouds here at Silverstone. Shadow Bounty, his lap times look perhaps even more gorgeous. He's really flying at the moment. 2 minutes 2 seconds for Flaren, then P8, and then Stuntman Mike just behind 3 different manufacturers, BMW from Corvette, from Ford GT. But now see how this could be set to change here. The Corvette and the Ford GT looking particularly racy. BMW going in towards the mid part of the circuit with a lot of lockups. That rear left wheel, of course being a rear wheel drive car, is taking quite a beating out there under the wheel of Flaren 89. Oh, as he spun, not quite. Flaren 89 almost let the car go there, didn't he? And let's see if PA can punish him for that one. Down Wellington straight again, and I think actually it's been a chain reaction. The butterfly effect has occurred. The stuntman Mike has got quite a remarkable drive going down that long straight. Can he move it to the inside of Stowe? Not enough. The Corvette's got other ideas in terms of defending. And stuntman Mike has got to try and move his way to the outside, going in towards Vale. And out of club corner as well. Out of the double right-hander. And Stuntman Mike onto the apex there. Maybe just a wheel over the white line. He shouldn't have, and that's compromised his run. But over the line we go. Lap number 8 of 26 underway. A 2:01.5 from Stuntman, a 2:22 from the man he's chasing PA, and a 2:283 from Flaren 89 just ahead of them. And the GT there goes a bit wide actually, trying to get a deeper run, going out of the loop. You can't blame him, and look at the run, it almost did give him if he did lose the back end there. So an update on, of course, what's going on here at Simraceway. Unfortunately, I will be away from the booth for the World Touring Car Championship this weekend, but fear no less, the GT Giants Championship I'm sure will make up for that, and there will still be some exciting racing. If you want to get involved in the World Touring Car Championship, simply head over to simraceway.com now to find out all the information you need. Of course, all the tracks are free, the cars are extremely reasonably priced, and you too can relive the World Touring Car Championship from 2011. For the GT fan, then these are the drivers that you'll be wanting to look at to make contact with, especially those in SPM. Look at Shadow Bounty go. He's extended that gap to what was 6 seconds covering the top 3. It's now become 10, so 8 laps in. The difference a couple of laps can make, is now back to Gaber. He's got his mind focused on just catching B13. In the final corner to start lap number 9 of the 26 given to us here today, with Mete still pushing, Graf Findel in 5th place, having lost Flaren 89 and co. Let's take a look at lap times of those ahead then. It's a 2:06 from B13 in second, a 2:05 from Max Gaber, a 2:01 minute now, 2:01 second, sorry, a 2:01.5 from Graf Findel, so 5 tenths slower there from what he needed. Flaren 89 and 2:15 also. And then a 2:26 and a 2:28. The next two cars. The stuntman Mike launches and has sold up the inside with the Ford GT. He's on the outside for the next corner, of course. That will be firmly in his mind as he tries to go back underneath. He's able to accomplish it. No, he's lost the back end. And is that tyres losing grip? Is that the track surface dropping in temperature due to the day fading in tonight? Or was that a lapse of concentration? Perhaps it was a mix of all three. Stuntman Mike not in a good position there at all. That could have been costly. Luke Sky 9th, Raceway 10th, Lazarus 11th, Tomcat is in 12th place at the moment. That really could have been something a lot worse. There's a heavy concrete wall just to the inside of that corner. and I think he was extremely lucky not to collect it. So if anything, he'll be wiping his forehead with that one and saying, phew, he didn't quite hit it. But now as the day does fade tonight, then the sky fully black almost as the sun sets behind the clouds, and the track temperature possibly its most vulnerable for mistakes from drivers now as we make our way slowly towards the halfway mark. Still with another 5 or 6 laps left in there yet before we even start thinking about pit stops, however. Still Shadow Bounty with an almighty 7-second lead, probably the only driver in the field that can maybe afford to take his foot off the throttle at this stage. Just give it a bit of a break and admire the scenery, maybe take a couple of Instagram photos. And his focus on the driving in hand a little later. B13 still back together, tucked up right behind him. 2 tenths faster that time, the Corvette. He was chasing down the BMW at quite an alarming rate previously. But that lap set him back a minute. But nothing he can't recuperate and make up for. And now again a bit wide there for the Corvette. You've got to start trying to watch these cars and watch for errors more importantly. Now you're going to have blinding headlights in the rear view mirrors. It can be quite distracting as you make your way through a circuit as technical as the Silverstone one. Graffindel's still trying to have his mind focused on Flaren, and there you can see the grip levels dropping. The Ford GT looking like it was skating on ice as he tried to kick his back legs through there. Down the Wellington straight, Mr. PA still looking to try and find himself a bit of a manoeuvre. Can he get to the inside through there? He does open up and think about it, but there's a lot at stake here. We're only on lap 10 of 26. You don't want to go risking anything like that just yet. Sky 9th, Raceway still very firmly placed there in P10 at the moment. A bad start for him. Lazarus 11th, 12th is Tomcat. And it's taking a look on board with Mr. PA there in 7th, and Grafindel again almost losing that back end. Poor GT looking extremely vulnerable, and Mr. PA going to punish him for that round the outside, and that's almost suicide if he attempted there. Can he encounter the swift right-hander and get a bit of a drive popping out of the corner or no? He's the next issue on his mind. And taking a look back now through the field, Luke Sky in 9th has actually dropped a little bit away from, I'm sure, where he would have liked to have been. If you say one of the regular midfield competitors has established himself down in 9th at the moment. Raceway still there in 10th with Lazarus 11th and Tomcat, the lowest placed Corvette at the moment, in E12. So still a long way to go yet, but we've got a feeling the pit stops could be on the horizon. Yeah, he's looking to try and put all doubt aside that he can attack Graffindel's Ford GT, because it really is struggling right now. There's no two ways about it. Grafindel is losing a lot of time, and I think the Corvette just simply can't capitalise on it. That's the only reason he hasn't moved forward. The Graffindel's very good at quickly recovering and making sure he's in a good defensive position where the Corvette is not going to have enough room to make the pass complete, and that is why that Ford GT is barely clinging on for dear life to what is currently 6th position. He's making a lot of errors, there's a lot of oversteer. Every corner the car's twitching out, even the Corvette suffering a little there, almost like the yawn effect. Both drivers suffering it, it's seeming quite contagious. But now a little bit of a run through there as almost Tomcat went a bit wide there. Grafindel holds on in 6th with PA just behind. And now they make their way into the final corner, and we've actually got a bit of an incident now. I thought we're back to Gaver. gained just a tad on B13, but lost it out majorly going in towards the complex for the 12th time today through the loop and out of Village Corner. Now down Wellington Straight, the Corvette seemingly can't get the power down as fast as the BMW, and that's been one of the real talking points here today. Mepte still hanging on nicely in 4th, Flower in 5th, Findle in 6th, Mr. PA just behind in 7th. Now Luke Sky is actually losing time there to Night Raceway, and watch out for Night Raceway because even Lazarus trying to get to the inside. And can he make the move complete or no? They're still almost wheel to wheel. BMW versus BMW. Tomcat with the popcorn out watching this one. Lazarus trying to trail it right around the outside. He's made that look absolutely effortless, and Lazarus breaks into the top 10. Although it looks to me like Night Raceway is trying to come back up the inside of Cop's corner. And not quite through there. He definitely thought about it, but couldn't quite get it off in the end, could he? Now Night Raceway. Although Lazarus now trying to defend because Night Raceway not going to give it up without a fight. Tomcat still doing everything he can to be a part of this, and Lazarus slipping and sliding around like he's on some kind of ski slope. Night Raceway taking none of that and capitalise on any little error he makes. Other than that, it's all pretty stalemate at the front of the field at the moment. Everything else has sort of died down. Lazarus, right, Night Raceway, then Tom, then the float. Kobayashi. Current order at the moment, but as things start to really fade into the night now, and we do start to think about the possibility of pit stops. Shadow Bounty over the line for the old pit straight is now 15 seconds clear. Now back to Gaber, trying to keep himself established with B1306. But he's fading away a little as they go down the hangar straight. Flower and Grafindle still could perhaps be a battle at the moment. The other 4 GT and 6 is quite a bit from this PA after Flower made that impressive pass just a few laps ago. Oh, and Stuntman Mike's off, and he's again saved it, but that man has been so inconsistent here today, and he's lucky he has actually lost out to Luke Sky 9th there, so Stuntman, down straight as it is, not work. Lazarus and Night Raceway maybe starting thinking to present themselves with some sort of battle as Lazarus makes a bit of an error again. Now, they used to have been back and forth for the last few laps, and it's been so entertaining to watch as the cars lose their grip, they lose their back ends. Night Raceway to the inside, Lazarus holds on. And Night Raceway left with his thinking cap on. What's he got to do to get past this man? We've only got 12 laps of racing left, still no one in the pit lane yet, although Night Raceway is in somewhere. That's the inside, and Lazarus is able to see it off for now. Tomcat right up in his rear view mirror though, and the Corvette is looking like a snake waiting to pounce, hiding in the grass, just trying to remain unseen, but everyone's going to see that big slide there, and and the Corvette loses a lot of time in 12th. And Lazarus still clinging on to 10th at the moment, but could all be set to change very soon. Shadow Bounty still 17 seconds clear now of the B13 and Vax gave a battle. These two have remained about the same distance apart all race long actually. Not much has changed between the two drivers. Exchanging sector times, exchanging lap times. Right, so trying to make his way through, but I think the only chance he's really going to have a chance to do it is through the pit stop window, if there is one. We don't know if drivers are going to start pitting in yet, or if they're going to try and run the whole race on the same set of tyres and the same tank of fuel. It's still all if buts and maybes here at Silverstone, but what we do know is Shadow Bounty is incredibly quick. Shadow, B13, then back to, as we say, then Flaren. And Graf Findle, the highest place for GT at the moment after Stuntman Mike's couple of errors. He had one, of course, going into the loop, another one just before the Wellington and Hangar straight. He's struggling today with grip in the Ford GT, and that can be a consequence of a car that's so low to the ground with as much downforce as it does have. You push it over its limits, it's still going to react like any other car, perhaps bite even harder. The American power starting to be a real issue for Mike as he almost loses that back end again. He's squirming around like a worm. And now down Wellington, he's got himself a good 10 seconds back to Luke Scott at the moment, but that is still set to change. And almost, oh, it is off! And Night Raceway can keep it out of the barriers. And that's 130 miles an hour he left the track at that speed. Now that could have been something incredibly, incredibly dangerous. And we're just very lucky that Night Raceway didn't collide with the barrier. The only thing he collided with was the grass and the tarmac that lay out before him. And thankful, wide runoff area there, just going into the Wellington straight. And this is going to mean now that the Corvette of Tomcat 458 has actually passed Night Raceway. So as if this sure couldn't get any harder for the man in 12th, he's now got to try and re-pass a Corvette. And something which is as big as that, as difficult to pass as that. It's not exactly going to be easy, is it? He's really got to try and get that thinking cap on and see what he can deliver now. At 15 of 26, and we've seen 30 minutes of racing so far. See, yet still more to come, aren't we? As now into the slipstream dives Night Raceway. He wants a position back off the Corvette. Can he get to the inside or no? The answer is still for us. He's off again. Completely missed the breaking point of that corner into Stowe. It was almost like he forgot where Stowe was. I mean, I know it's dark, but the driver's still got lights on. He should be very much aware to see where Stowe corner is. That's a real problem for Night Raceway. He's dropped back even further now. Diving their way in towards turn number 1 again. Let's just see what Night Raceway is going to be able to do, because diving in now towards the Village and Loop corners, he's a little bit far away than he would like compared to Tomcat and Co. Lazarus now starting to take the race into his own. I'll move a bit further forward. Over the old start-finish line goes PA, but over the new start-finish line almost comes Shadow Bounty. He makes his way in towards Vale and Club for the 16th time today, 11 seconds ahead of anyone else in the field. B13 perhaps even further back than we first anticipated. Out of the final corner comes the speedy BMW. The SPM car that took pole position here today has now just got 11 laps remaining until we class it as a race winner here in the Simraceway GT Giants Championship, one which has already seen plenty of action over the past few weeks is only set to improve as time goes on, isn't it? We're on round 6 now. Some brilliant tracks have been visited as well. You look at the venues which have been hosted. Don't forget tracks like Brands Hatch have been very, very popular. You can get all of these for free at your Simraceway account website. Just head over to simraceway.com. Go on tracks. You can download them all through our very impressive download manager, absolutely free of charge. Gap between B13 and Backstow still stationary at about between 2 and 3 seconds. Hasn't really fluctuated in the last time, well, the last 5 or 6 laps we've checked, really. In fact, I say 5 or 6, I mean the last 17. These two have just kept the same distance apart. They've been equidistant the entire race so far. We'll see if that changes though. 33 minutes in, the driver's concentration could well start to lapse just a little. Into turn number 1 he goes. Dame 4th, Flower in 5th, and over the grass almost. Graufinkel still chasing in 6th, trying to turn his race into a top 5 performance. Still unaware if he can do that or no yet. Seen. The 7th, Stuntman in 8th, Luke Sky in 9th, but Lazarus 10th, Tomcat in 12th, or 11th I should say, and Night Raceway down in P12. Only one retirement so far then, and that comes from the flow. That was back on that number 13, so our only retirement of the day being one of our BMWs. A real shame there, but hopefully that doesn't change into too much as time goes on, and we won't see the attrition rate raised any higher than it is currently. Now just trying to take a ride on board there with Batsagay, but I think what we'll do is just take a lap on board to see, well, next time he hits the start-finish line, just how demanding this Silverstone circuit is under night conditions whilst chasing another car also. Mepday still 4th, Flaren still 5th, a 2:01.4 for Graufinkel that time round, so he was actually 2/10 slower than the man ahead of him. And Mr. P8 a 2:02.8, so a lot slower there for the man driving the Corvette. Luke Sky in 8th, Stuntman Mike is in 9th place, and 10th is Lazarus with Tomcat 458 and 11th, still pressuring the BMW at the moment, with Night Raceway trying to claw his way back up after completely overshooting the penultimate complex of corners there, going out of Stowe down the hill. We just completely forgot the corner existed, I think. Now they make their way in towards Root Village, an Aintree corner again. Lap 18 of 26, and Lazarus keeping his head above water at the moment. He doesn't want to sink in too deep, as Tomcat won't be the lifeguard to save him. In fact, it will be the shot to eat him alive. Finding the lack of grip doesn't eat him alive first. The Corvette is struggling. Way down the Wellington straight again. Lap 18 of 26 then. Track starting to lighten up maybe just a little now as we approach the end of the race. Still 19 seconds clear is B13 at the moment. We talk about lighting up. Anything considerably lighting up is going to be that man's lap times. Our race leader has just been simply flying at the moment. That again is only going to improve as time goes on. He just seems to get easier and quicker as time expands, and the amount of time he spends on this racetrack always seems like learning curves. He's never making mistakes, he's never locking up, and that is exactly what happens when you dedicate yourself as much as this man. The whole SPM team have done incredibly well here today, and they have done back in terms of the World Touring Car Championship as well. Shadow with plus 20 seconds now. It really is expanding. It's still, you've got to feel like the Batsagaba is going to give back to B1386 what he took from him at the start. On the final corner, we said we'd take a lap on board. We'll do it just now then. So now you can see to your right hand side the old National Paddock. Corner's time, and will be entitled to a lap on board with the Corvette, who currently sits in 3rd position here in your GT Giants Championship round number 6. Lazarus Intent still holding off Tomcat, the Corvette to the inside. And that move was cut short. It was a very brave dive there from Tomcat. Of course, all the time these guys hustle around, it means that Night Raceway is just going to ease up to them like it was no problem whatsoever. Down the Wellington straight again they come. Lazarus 16, wanting to be more of a challenge to overtake than perhaps first anticipated for the Corvette. Tomcat still giving everything he's got. Then let's take a look back at what the man in third place is doing. He's just about to start another lap now. So we've caught Gabriel at the right time then, in fact the perfect time to join him for a hot lap. Let's just take a look and see how we go then. Out of the final corner, he's laid the pit button up and immediately taking it off. Was that a sign that he could be in the pit lane anytime soon? Over the start finish line he goes then. Let's take a ride on board with the Corvette back to Gabriel. B13 in front as you go down the international pit straight and into Abbey Corner. Tricky first apex based off of the infamous Cops Corner, which you'll see later. Then hit the right apex of Farm and brace yourself for Village. Very heavy braking into here, down to 50 mile an hour. Swing yourself back over to the right hand side of the circuit for the loop. Very easy to lose a bit of oversteer through there, but Gabriel absolutely keeps it together as the track starts to get brighter now. Due to the day to night transition, we had our way down the Wellington straight and in towards Brooklands. Heavy braking down here as well, almost blind to the apex, and you don't know how long it's going to be. It always changes that corner depending on the angle. You could end up on the grass or you could end up directly in the middle of the circuit. But you make your way out of there and going towards Luffield and out of Woodcote. The final little flick before the international pit straight, or the national pit straight I should say. This is where the old Formula 1 grid used to be, where the cars used to line up before the exciting spread down into Cops Corner. Cars hitting 150 mile an hour before braking to just about over 100 as you hit on the apex. When you mind out for the AstroTurf, you can lose a wheel on there easily, and then make your way out of Cops in towards the Maggots Corner, then through Beckett's and out of Chapel down through the Hanger Straight. So you can just see out of Beckett's now through Chapel. Make sure you don't get any oversteer. Try and get the power down nice and early, and as the track brightens up, the temperatures will soon start to rise, and we make our way down in towards Stoke Corner. Now from Gabriel make something of this. Very heavy braking again. This time you want to keep the car centralised and make sure you don't go overboard with the acceleration on the exit. Keep it in third, keep the revs low, and make their way down now in towards the final chicane, which is through Vale, out of Club Corner, and then back onto your main pit straight again. So that's a lap of Silverstone with the Corvette from Gabriel, the GT2 Corvette. And now they make their way as the track really does start to brighten up. Now the sun is rising into Village Corner again. Really not long left to go now before we draw another end to the mischief that we've seen here today. Another great race, that's for sure. And did we have a bit of a spinner back then? I think we may have done. It is Stuntman Mike off again in the 4GT. So down in 11th place, Stuntman Mike's race just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? And he's really seeming to struggle today at the moment. And they make their way out of the final corner again. Stuntman Mike spun again. This is the 4th time we've captured it. We don't know how many times it's actually happened overall, but Stuntman Mike really struggling. And it's almost like the car's just given up on him now. There's no confidence there. And he's really struggling to bring this 4GT home. It's just been a downward spiral, unfortunately. And sometimes as a racing driver, you get races like that and you just got to pick yourself back up and make sure it doesn't affect you for your next couple of rounds, especially going into this weekend as well with the World Touring Car Championship making its way into round number 2 after an exciting season opener last Sunday. Now down the straight again comes Mr. PA, so that's making his way in towards Stoke Corner. Still behind Ralph Findle, and that battle has seen what ceased since the last time we've seen it. One battle that hasn't ceased at all is Lazarus and Nye Raceway. Lazarus off the circuit, and Nye Raceway moves up a position. Lazarus back on the counter on the inside. Very well played there by Lazarus. And the battle for 9th and 10th has just hit new levels of tension as they make their way down the hangar straight for the 21st time out of 26. Only 5 more times after this lap they'll encounter it. Lazarus with a bit of a drift there in the GT2 BMW. That pilot is as well. It's almost closer to the touring car model than a Z4, and some contact. Nye Raceway round the outside of Vale into Club Corner, and Lazarus is going to be banging and clattering his way back through onto the pit straight, surely. He's still be wanting to. Oh, quite enough through there. But now Lazarus has really got to try and take this battle into his own hands. We've got another battle actually forming a bit further up the circuit that was Mr. PA and Ralph Findle. I think PA just lost a little bit of time perhaps. Back to Gabriel and B13 still about 3 seconds apart. They really cannot be separated for love nor money here today. Shadow Bounty will cross the line with 4 laps left to go. So about 10 minutes left of racing until we call it a day here at Silverstone for round 6 of the GT Giants Championship. Lazarus to the inside again of Nye Raceway. Can he get there? Not quite, but Lazarus is definitely starting to apply the pressure more now. And now through Magus and Becky, it's just watching these 2 BMWs as the track fades back into daylight again. Over the line, they almost supposed to do another lap. Flaren with a 2:01.3, so that man's getting quicker. See what Ralph Findle's doing just behind him then from P6. The line he'll go. 2:01.1, and Mr. P8 at 2:01.13 as well. So 2 very evenly paced cars there. Now Nye Raceway and Lazarus still 9th and 10th, unchanged the order there. So the updated order, lap 23. I don't think we're going to be getting pit stops here today. We've hit 45 minutes worth of racing now in this GT Giants Championship. And they really are giants when you just take a moment of silence and appreciate those engines. But Shadow Bounty still leads with B13 remotely ahead of Baxter Gabriel in 3rd. Those 2 not been separated at all today. And Map Day 4th, Flaren 5th, Ralph Findle in 6th. Mr. PA 7th with Luke Sky in 8th. Nye Raceway just ahead of Lazarus in 9th and 10th. Stuntman Mike down to 11th with Tomcat in 12th. And our last one in Kobayashi, the Flow, out of the race in 14th. Only a couple of laps left to go then, 3 to be precise, or 3.5, depending on where you are in the field, but it's all sort of separated out, and a great chance to tell you how you can get involved with us here at Simraceway. If you want to expand and immerse yourself in the universe of Simraceway, then be sure to head over to simraceway.com and check out our web chat, or if you want to get involved with us on Twitter or have any questions, then our Twitter handle is @Simraceway, and my personal one @LiamJenkins21. Or if you want to give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/SimRaceway. Don't forget, always the SRW Picky competition. That's on Instagram, so if you do fancy yourself as a bit of a photographer and you love Instagram, give our Instagram account a follow @SimRaceway. Use the hashtag SRW Picky, and in your best Simraceway screenshots, and you too could win $2.50 worth of gift vouchers every day. So all you've got to do is keep posting those pictures up. We love seeing them. You guys really do make this game the impact of what it has on this community. Absolutely brilliant stuff that you upload to Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We really do appreciate every single one we got. So almost on the penultimate lap of the race then for Shadow Bounty. But if you want to get involved with the championship details as well and find out a little bit more about this championship that you're watching on the YouTube channel right now, which by the way, will be sure to subscribe. It will be fantastic. We have broadcasts every Sunday as well, including some hot lap videos on their way and some interesting interviews, that sort of thing. So if you want to find more out about this championship, however, go over to the community.simraceway.com and press on the special events tab, the GT Giants Championship, and you'll see all of the information from season 1 of the emphatic GT Giants Championship. Round 6 is at Silverstone, round 7 next week is at Laguna Seca, round 8 at Watkins Glen, Brands Hatch being the season finale. The GT3 class will be containing the BMW Z4, the McLaren MP4, the Audi R8 and the Nissan GTR GT3. And the GT2 class, which is what we're seeing at the moment, the BMW M3, the Ford GTR GT2 and the Corvette C6R. So still plenty to play for. The prize pool is $500, where the first place winner at the end of the championship earns $70. So a really good way to get yourself a bit of extra cash as well and combine your love for gaming and competitive racing with maybe a little flirtation that you have with earning money on the side as well. A brilliant way to combine making money with video games, a fantastic championship and a great group of guys as well. So all your information there, community.simraceway.com, and press the GT Giants button on the. But as we're on the penultimate lap of the race, Shadow Bounty making his way down the main straight. He's not that far away from a victory. He's led from the get-go. He took pole position in the BMW and he looks to convert it into a race win. He's really not that far away from doing so at all either. We've got one more lap after this. 49 minutes of racing is what we've seen so far. What's that? Until we diagnose ourselves running through the final order. It looks like it's going to be a BMW 1-2 actually, unless Max Vergaber can finally find a way past the BMW M3 of B13A6. But the C6R just looking like it hasn't had the pace all afternoon to attack the BMW. It started in second, of course, very narrowly. You take a look back at the qualifying times that we saw at this race. Max Vergaber took second with a 1:59.72 and B13 in the BMW was a 1:59.76. Only 0.04 of a second separated the cars in second and third at the moment. And it seems that the qualifying pace was entirely different to what Max Vergaber could deliver in the race. Yes, he's 48 seconds clear of Mepde, who's had a great start in all honesty. He's currently 4th position. You look at the qualifying he had as well. He started in 4th, so he keeps his race the same. The biggest disappointment, unfortunately, has to go to Stuntman Mike. He started in 5th place and now finds himself, after a world of schoolboy errors, all the way down in 12th position. But the final lap of the race is almost half complete. Shadow Bounty will be nerved back and forth, back and forth. He knows what's coming. He should be able to achieve a victory here today. He's done all the hard work. B13 second, Baxo third, that day still 4th. Is there any other battles? Only Lazarus and Night Raceway. That's over 10th and 9th. That still could prove to be a bit of a problem. They've got one more lap to complete as well. But one man who, only with a few more corners, is our SPM race leader. Tomcat's going to come out of the final corner and Shadow Bounty will almost lap him. He's going out of Wards, or just out of Stone towards Maitland Club corner now for the final time today. He's led from pole and the BMW M3 has never looked in any doubt whatsoever that he was going to win this race. Shadow Bounty comes over the start finish line, a winner of round 6 of our GT Giants Championship. You'll be stunned with that one. The SPM team continue their run of good form. B1386 will finish his BMW in second, ahead of Baxagaba, who would have hoped he could have found more, but the Corvette simply couldn't find the pace come the end of the day. Fourth place is going to go to Mepday. Fifth place, Flaren, if he doesn't spin there. Very close indeed. Sixth, Ralph Findle. Seventh, Mr. PA. Eighth, Luke Sky. And ninth and 10th, still got another half a lap to go with Nye Raceway and Lazarus. So I think the two BMWs may have actually settled their battle before we could have anticipated. Lazarus had a bit of a poor run there in 10th. So 11th, Stuntman Mike, 12th, Tomcat. Those two actually still got a bit of a war on their hands. They're on the same lap as well, so this is for race position. Stuntman Mike, who's a couple of fouled to 11th, but got a bit wide there. He's lost it again, and he's gone way wide. Has he got a puncture or something? The 4GT loses out to Tomcat in the final stages. And Tomcat's going to make his way in towards the final couple of corners. In 11th place, Stuntman Mike will be absolutely devastated with that, but we'll run through the final order now then. So the race winner was Shadow Bounty, second B1386, third Baxo, fourth Mepday, fifth Flaren, Garfindle in 6th, Mr. PA in 7th, Luke Sky in 8th, Nye Raceway 9th, Lazarus 10th, Tomcat in 11th place, 12th Stuntman Mike, 13th Kobayashi, and our only retirement of the day is Flo. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to bring you live and uninterrupted coverage of round 6 of your GT Giants Championship. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you next week for some more exciting Sim Raceway action.